Hi! Today we're going to look at some of the add-ons that I've been using since my previous 30 awesome add-ons for World of Warcraft video that I did, over a year ago now, something like that. And in that video I talked about a lot of the add-ons that I'm still using. Basically I'm using all of them, but some I've replaced either with ones that are similar or there are ones that I've added since then. So I want to talk about in particular 6 add-ons, some of which are very, very new, like as in the last 3 days, they've just come out kind of new. So there's ones that they're not perfect, but they're ones that I'm definitely keeping an eye on. In addition to that, there's an extra add-on which I don't personally use, but I think might be useful for some people who are looking for some more functionality. And then there are 3 additional add-ons I want to talk about, which are more for when Legion is released specifically, so the questing process and then endgame 110 content. So at the moment we've just had pre-patch come out in WoD, which is now WoD/Legion. Does that make it a Waddy Legion or something? I don't know. And in there we've obviously got the good old transmog system, which has just come out. So there's a couple of add-ons that I've found to do with that. I've also got some extra add-ons that I want to talk about. So let's get to it. The first one, in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, you'll notice that I've got my recount. It's not recount, it's not SCADA, it's an extra alternative called Details. Details with an exclamation mark. I really like it. It's a damage meter, a healing meter. It's got extra functionality in there to do with, you know, encounters and stuff. So ignore the green thing. This is, as I said, the patch has just come out, so it's not perfect at the moment. But you've got raid tools, you've got a whole lot of extra things in here which are really, really nice. It's even got some little games within it. You can play games while you're waiting for your raid to turn up or something like that. So check it out, let me know what you think. The second one is in the middle of my screen here. You'll notice next to my health bar we've got a whole lot of unit frames that are appearing and disappearing and greying out and changing colours. And this is very similar to Grid. If you've ever used Grid as a healer for your raid and you put all of your health bars nice and condensed in the middle, and then you can just sort of, you know, click on things and heal people, as you would want to do. This one is the equivalent for enemies. So it actually shows you all of the enemies that are within range or out of range, in combat, out of combat, things that as a tank, if you have aggro, they're one colour. If you don't have aggro, they change colour. So in addition to that, it can show you whether so I can use it to click on things. You could also show you cast bars. It will show you debuffs. As you can see, we've got good old demon armor that's sitting here, and I can use it to, as I said, to target things. In addition to that, if I just bring up the enemy grid, the config menu, so we've got a whole lot of options. This add-on is like 1 week old, okay, so you have to be a little bit gentle with it, but I'm really keeping an eye on this one. I'm waiting for a few things just to be tweaked, some bugs to be worked out of it, but if this add-on is really, really interesting. You've got a lot of general functions. So as you can see in just in this color by aggro section in the middle, you can, when you have aggro as a tank, it's blue. When you don't have aggro, it goes red. If you've got high threat, it's yellow. And as you can see, all of these things are not in combat, so they're this sort of dark red color. You can change the size of the width of things. So if you want to make them wider, you can do that. You can make them narrower. What did I have that set at? And then you can change the height and all that sort of stuff. The cast bars, you can change the size of the cast bars, you can change the position of stuff. And this keybind setup, so you can actually attach macros, very similar if you've ever used Click, or the grid equivalents would be things like Healbot or Voodoo, where if you right click on a mob, on a player, for example, it will shield them. If you left click, it will cast Renew or something like that. So this one, actually, you can do similar things with this add-on as well. So left click targets the mob, right click will interrupt, and middle click will taunt, and then I can add my own key bindings as well. So if, let's take for example, we're going to take let's take this little familiar who's just gone to sleep. Let's take the Warlock. So this Warlock is all the way over here. If I, actually, let's pick this one here, that's probably easier. If I click on him, if I middle click and I taunt, And then, of course, he brings all his friends with him, but you can see they all turn blue. So we've got this thing over here who's in range, but he wasn't in combat, and he was running toward me, and then he is now in combat. So you can sort of see things, you know, as you're, you know, something is body pulled, and you can tell immediately if you have aggro or not. And they change color when they hit you, which is interesting. So I think, I don't know if that's something that's going to continue, if that's actually an intended functionality, but I kind of like it. So I can see that there are two things that aren't hitting me, and I can keep an eye on them, and they can, you know, see if they're going to go and hit somebody else, or if they're, you know, just going to be CC'd or something like that. So yeah, interesting, very interesting add-on, but as I said, it's very early, so I'm waiting for a few things to be ironed out, a few bugs. Mainly how, you know, growth direction would be nice if it could go sideways and then down. It only goes down, and you kind of have to limit how many you have. And also if there's a way to stop them from doing this kind of layout where things are floating. But yeah, I like it. I really like it. The next one, which is not actually an add-on that is visible, so I'm going to have to show you my add-ons list. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. So this point here, it's called Badboy. Trying to use my little cursor here. So the Badboy add-on, it's just basically chat functionality. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it. It filters out things like spam, makes it really, really easy to report gold farmers. Also, if you're on a character and you don't want the character to be gilded, and you keep getting those, you know, guild invites and guild spam, you can have it filter those out and ignore those people. Lots and lots of stuff. Really, really very compact, but quite useful add-on for sure. The next one is for mount farmers. It's called Mount Farm Helper. And this one basically shows you all the mounts that you don't have. It shows you where they are, what dungeons and raids they're in, and it shows you what difficulty you need to do it on. So for example, I'm in Shadow Labs at the moment, but if I go across to Sethic Halls for good old Anzu, which I don't have, it tells me that if I kill him on Heroic, it will give me, theoretically, the Ravenlord mount. So as soon as I go and do that, when I'm saved to Sethic Halls, this gets removed from my list until tomorrow when raids and dungeons reset, and then it'll appear again. So you can kind of see the ones that are kind of within your area, and then you can slowly, you know, farm them, and it will remove them from the list once you can't farm them anymore. In addition to that, we've got two more add-ons to do with the transmog system. So the first one is it adds information to the tooltip, and it tells you if you have learnt an item, if you haven't learnt an item, if you can or can't, if it can be learnt on a different character, for example. So if you've got a BOE but you can't learn it, if I pick up a cloth BOE, I can send that to my priest, for example, and she can learn it. So you'll notice that in the bottom right hand corner above where the vendor information is, where it says this is worth 1 copper, woohoo! Above that it says a blue check mark and the word learned, so I have this in my transmog wardrobe. If, for example, you're looking at a neck or a trinket, it says it cannot be learned. Okay. Additionally, there are some items that are the same appearance. So this wrist is, I learned this transmog from a different item, but I can still sell this one because I have actually learned it. I just didn't learn it from this particular item, that kind of stuff. The last transmog type add-on is called, I think it's Monar's Wardrobe Helper. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that. And this shows you all of the items that you don't have for transmog, and it shows you where to get them. So if I go to Orkandun and here's my boss, and I have all of these items that I don't have, because we all need wrists. They're very important for transmog. But you can see Terran Gore, I've got a whole lot of cloaks and stuff that I haven't got. And you can also see, this is actually showing me that I've learned this from another item. That's interesting. So these are very, very new add-ons, so there's probably a few little glitches in here. For example, in my tooltip here, it says it's not learned. So I wonder why. Yeah, it's for those ones as well. So having both add-ons is actually really useful. So I don't need that item because I've already learnt it. I've already learnt that one. I haven't learnt that one. So I think I'm going to keep both these add-ons, I think. Okay. The next one, which I'm going to have to actually leave WoW for. I'm going to have to show you my browser for this one because I don't have this one installed. Let me just bring up Curse. Now this add-on, in wow, actually let me show you that right now. I can do that before I show you this add-on. If I go into the interface menu, you notice that there's a lot of stuff that's been removed. It's been filtered down into what Blizzard thinks is what most people are using, what most people are customizing. So they removed a lot of functionality, and there's a lot of people who are not happy about that, which is understandable. I don't mind personally. There was nothing really there that I was so desperately needing, but this particular add-on, called Advanced Interface Options, allows you to basically bring back that functionality. So if there's stuff that you specifically needed that has been taken out of the interface, maybe give this one a look and see if there's anything in here that perhaps will be useful to you specifically. So that's Advanced Interface Options. The next add-on, this is one that I'm waiting for Legion to come out, is called Storyline. And because I'm really enjoying questing in Legion, this add-on actually adds a very dynamic element to quests. So instead of them being text that you read on a screen, it's got animated characters that pop up. It's got all these lovely little layout, and it adds even more excitement to it. So I'm kind of, I want to play with this one a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get it running on beta. And yeah, I think this will make the questing experience even more enjoyable, if that's your thing. Okay, the next two add-ons, which are the last two I'm going to talk about today, these are connected to specifically Legion and 110 level content when you unlock world quests. So there's a couple of different ways that when you get into your world quests, basically your map comes up, you've got icons that appear at different places within an area, and you mouse over those icons, it tells you, what the rewards are, how much time is left on that quest, etc, etc. But you have to move your mouse around, and obviously that is so taxing for the average WoW player, like me. And this kind of add-on actually puts information, it condenses it basically. Okay, so as you can see in High Mountain, we have 6 world quests that are available. Yeah, in Surima we've got 4 world quests that are available, and it shows you what you get from them. It's an item, or it's money, or it's resources and stuff like that. So this is one type of add-on. This is normally what world quests look like. So you basically put your mouse over it, and then it brings up the tooltip and tells you information. This one also has an extra function, the world quest tracker. It also shows you stuff in here, which is quite nice. Now, the alternative to this, so this is World Quest Tracker. The alternative is World Quests List, and this is probably one that I might personally use because it has a bit more filtering options, and it just presents things, even more information in a smaller space kind of thing. So it shows you how much time is left, what the rep is, how much, what the resources are, how much you get from it, where it is, all that kind of stuff. So I think personally I'm probably going to use this one, I think. But yeah, this is obviously something I have to wait until we get to 110 for. But those are some add-ons that I've been playing with since my previous video. Anything that you see in, for example, in my interface that I have not talked about, it will be talked about in my previous video, so check that one out for sure if you haven't already. That's about it. Thank you very much for the company. Enjoy the rest of your morning, day, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be. And if you have any add-ons that you think I might get some interest out of, please let me know below, especially ones that may be a class specific. Maybe you've got one that you definitely love on your warlock, or one that you can't live without on your priest. Do let me know about them. Just put the titles. I don't think you can link in YouTube comments, I'm pretty sure, but just let me know what it's called, and then I can go search for it. Very interested. I love add-ons. I find them really, really fun. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Goodbye.